Hello, everyone. What a full room. This is such a treat. Welcome to Efficient Administration in Clio Manage, how to build strong foundations for long-term success within your Clio Manage account. Welcome. I'll give a moment just for folks to come in, get settled, find yourself a place to sit. I'm not scary. If you want to come up to the splash zone, you're welcome to come up to the front. I promise it is a good time. Who are my front of the room learners? Yeah, that's me too. I'm like right up. I'm a nerd. It's okay. All right. So my name is Sheena DePonce. I am one of our senior managers of customer support, and I have been with Clio for 5.5 years. And it's my job to lead our incredible team of almost 70 support specialists, 9 team leads who answer all of your questions via chat, phone, and email 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. And before I was with Clio, I was a head trainer for an e-learning company where we would work with entrepreneurs and help them to build their businesses in a way that they were going to get back more ease, more free time. So I'm very passionate about efficiency. I'm a productivity nerd, and I'm really excited to geek out on just some of the foundational pieces that you want to make sure are in place to make sure that you're doing all of the things efficiently with administration. Sound good? Yeah, awesome. All right. So how are we going to spend the next 60 minutes just to make sure you're in the right room? I want to ensure that we are productive with our time and efficient together. So to kick us off, here's a quick stat that almost 1/3 of the average legal professional's time in a week is spent on tasks that they can't bill for. And in a 40-hour work week, that's over 12 hours every week that you could be spending elsewhere, ideally doing something that you could get billed for or pay for. And a lot of that work that folks aren't getting paid for is the admin that we want to make sure that you are automating where you can. So the whole session is going to be about increasing efficiency, streamlining, and building a strong administrative foundation so that you can get your work done easier and faster and spend your precious time on things that you either enjoy or get you paid. Sound good? Yay! I'm flattery operated, so feel free to say yes. Yeah, awesome. Okay, cool. So here's our agenda. We've got the efficient administration top 5 that we're going to be covering. First, we're going to talk about creating custom fields, making sure that you're capturing the most important data and information for your firm. Then we're going to get into mastering matter templates, making sure that you've got consistency across all of the things that you do, all the matters that you create. Next, we're going to talk about setting up schedule reporting, because what you measure gets managed so that you're getting the right reports into your inbox when you need them. Next, tailoring your task lists, making sure you've got tasks and you're making them into lists so that you're aware of all the things that need to be done on any specific type of matter. And finally, we're going to talk a little bit about document automation, everybody's favorite topic, because that is one that if you can get it right, it's going to save you a ton of time. And finally, I'm so thrilled, I'm going to be bringing up 2 of our support folks onto the stage to answer some of your questions live and in person. So absolutely write down your questions as we go through the session and save them for our 2 support team members at the end. All right. So who's this session for? This session is going to benefit folks most who want to ensure they've got all of the strong foundational pieces covered when we're talking about admin. It's going to be particularly beneficial to folks who are maybe a little bit newer, but I am going to make sure there's hot tips and tricks throughout so that if you are a more advanced user, there's some stuff for you here as well. It's going to be probably most beneficial to small and mid-sized firms, although of course, if you're one of our larger firms, you're more than welcome to stay. But I would absolutely recommend that you connect with somebody in our customer success center to make sure that the workflows that you're choosing are suitable for your larger firm size. And what else? I promise there's going to be hot tips. So there'll be some of that. I mentioned that we're going to have that QA and make sure that you write your questions down for that. Now, what this session will not be is an in-depth walkthrough of every single step in the process or a deep dive into a single feature. However, if that's really what you're craving at this time of the day, I will not be offended if you want to head over to our Customer Success Center, sit down shoulder to shoulder with a team member on our team, and get into the granular walkthrough of one specific feature. All right. So as we pivot to the content, I want to dive in first with a reflection and a little bit of intention as we dive in. So law firms are undoubtedly experiencing the impact of inflation, and many have adjusted their hourly rates to compensate for all of the economic change around us. This is from our awesome legal trends report. And what this means is that more than ever before, time is money. So money is important, but it's also not everything. And I imagine it's not the driving reason that you got into legal or the work that you do in the first place. So there's absolutely something that's worth more than money, and that's all the stuff you could be doing with your time. So let's make sure that we are getting rid of stuff that you don't need to be doing with your time so you can spend it wisely and on the things that you want to do, which brings me to our first question. If you could gain 1 hour per day, what would you do with it? I don't know if you've ever said this. I know I have. Oh man, if I only had 1 more hour in a day. I've got a 3-year-old. I was going to say toddler, but now she's a preschooler. So like if I had 1 more hour of a day, there's a lot that I would do with it. So I want you to take a moment. If you had 1 more hour in your day every day, what would you do with it? And since we're in person and not on the internet, I'd love it if you turn to the person next to you and let them know, what would you do with your extra hour in a day before we get kicked off? All right, you got 2 minutes. What would you do with your extra hour in a day? All right. There was a great answer in the front from one of the, you were in the splash zone after all, sorry. That she would just look into her husband's eyes and ask, what did you do today? Or how was your day? So sometimes it's just the basics, right? But honestly, that's what this session is about. What would you do if you had an extra hour? Maybe we can get you back an hour a day today. Does that sound good? Yes, yay, I love it. I love it. Yes, more time. Okay, so you may recognize this, pardon me, hair in my mouth. You may recognize this slide about our legal trends report where we emailed 1,000 law firms and phoned 500 of them with a client inquiry. And 33% responded to our emails, only a third, and 52%, only half of the firms answered our phone calls or phoned back. So if you didn't find a compelling why within your own reasoning to get that time back, maybe that's time that you could spend looking at your client experience and seeing if there's ways that you can up level. Because yeah, that's those numbers. We got to do something about working on those numbers. So are we ready for the Efficient Administration Top 5? Woo! Let's do it. Okay. Number 1, create custom fields. So what are custom fields? They are customizable categories or fields of client information that exist within your matters and contacts. They're going to allow you to personalize what information your firm wants to gather or is most relevant, to the work that you do. Whether that's employment status, spouse's name, it's going to give you the flexibility to add the things that you want to be capturing. Now, this may seem really rudimentary, but the data on how many of our Clio Manage users are actually creating their own custom fields and not just using the ones that come out of the box is like truly staggering. There are a lot of folks who could still be creating some custom fields. And if you're really passionate about starting to automate some of your workflows, you got to get your custom fields right, because then you can pull that data into your documents. So custom fields, very important. You get to decide what's key to your firm. Maybe you want to track things like preferred names so that you can build that rapport. Very simple. You'd be able to go ahead, create a text line custom field called preferred name. You go into settings, custom fields, new field, then create that field. Very simple. And now that custom field is going to be available for all of your matters clients, and you can use it again and again and again. I know this seems, again, potentially rudimentary if you've set this up, but a lot of folks haven't. So please, please, please do this first. Take a moment. What custom fields would be useful for your unique firm? Maybe write down 1 or 2 on your notebook. When you get home after we're here together, you're going to sit down at your desk probably, and you're going to go, oh gosh, what do I do first? And now here's something that you can do first is create that unique custom field. Hot tip, if you've got Clio Grow and Clio Manage, you're going to want to create your custom fields in Grow first. You're going to want to put them on your intake form so that when you're first connecting with that client, you're pulling in all of the needed data. Then it's going to sync over to Clio Manage. You're going to have it every step of the way, all the way to your document automation. All right. So you've created your custom fields. Now you're going to want to master your Matter templates. You're going to want to invest time in creating your Matter templates and making sure that you are getting that organizational efficiency across the line, and that consistency is going to help you build a strong foundation. What are Matter templates? These are just standardized templates designed for specific cases or practice areas that ensure that every matter that you create of a specific practice area or a specific type of case is consistent in structure and tailored to the unique requirements of that different type of case. So it's going to streamline your matter creation. It's going to save you time, but it's also going to ensure consistency across the work that you do, especially important if you have multiple folks working in your firm. And by using them, you can quickly set up new matters with all the necessary details in a click of a button very quickly, and make sure that you're reducing the risk of missing any important tasks or any important information. So why standardize your matter creation? Why we're going to do this? Number one, increasing efficiency. It's going to make it faster. Number two, it's going to cut down on the administrative hassle of having to create manual tasks every time. And lastly, time savings, resource savings. Standardizing these templates is going to streamline the whole process. So, oh, look, I forgot I had an automation. Look at that. All right. Moving right along, let's walk through a demo. First off, you're going to go ahead. You're going to go to Matter templates instead of New Matter. You're going to go create New Matter template, and it's going to give you a page that you're going to just follow each step of the process down the line, putting in all of the different matter details. You may have it under a specific attorney. You may have it for a specific location. You can set the permissions at your Matter template level as well, which might be really important to your firm. You're also going to be able to pull in some of those custom fields that you've created. So if you create all these custom fields, instead of every time being like, which one's needed for what, you know exactly what's needed for that specific type of matter when you use the Matter template. One thing I'll also highlight here is the billing preferences is going to be really important. Sometimes when folks don't set this up correctly and they start using the Matter template, it can cause trouble down the road and cause some calls with our wonderful support folks. So make sure that you're paying special attention to your billing preferences there. And you can see there, we're also adding task lists, which I'm going to talk about shortly. That's going to make sure that all of the tasks that you need for that specific type of practice area or case type are going to auto-populate when you use the template. Hot tips. Ways that you can slice the pie for Matter templates. You might do it by practice area. You might do it by billing preference. You might do it by responsible attorney. There's lots of different ways you could do it. So just encouraging you to think about what's best for your firm. But definitely consider that when you're creating this. It's all about creating a strong foundation. I like to think about it as like a house. If we build a weak foundation, then we start to try to build it upwards, it's going to topple over. So taking the time to really be thoughtful when you're setting up these foundational pieces will allow you to build a nice, strong high rise. You're also going to want to use custom field sets, which I mentioned, to make sure that you are looking at the custom fields that are most pertinent to that type of case. You are also going to want to create a document folder on your Matter template so that you have an organized way of adding your documents in along the way. And again, we're going to get into task lists, but you're going to want to make sure that you have assigned that too. Now, I am not a lawyer, although to my Portuguese parents' chagrin, I'm not a lawyer. But I'm going to make a very quick case for Matter templates. We have reduced strain on staff. It's going to make it easier for your staff. It's going to free up time. We're going to streamline your system. So doing this, you're going to be able to streamline the way that you do it. You're going to have consistency across the work that you do, and it's going to set you up to scale, again, to build that high rise. So with that, moving right along, set up your scheduled reporting. Pardon me. So as a person who looks at a lot of reports in a day, with a team our size, it's a lot of reporting. What is the most frustrating thing about reporting in one word? Feel free to shout it out. Billing. Billing reporting is frustrating? Yes. What's annoying about it? What else do we not love about reporting? Reading them. Yeah, that's what reading them. How about pulling them every time? How about going and having to pick all of the things and you miss the thing and you got to start the process again? Is that annoying? Yes, I agree. Anything else? We captured it all? All right. So scheduled reports is going to hopefully make this maybe not your favorite process, one that you only have to do once, and that's just going to automatically come to your email. So when you're generating a report, you can save all your selected filters and set the report as a preset that then you can schedule so you can get that report at the same time cadence that you desire for your firm. We have a saying at Clio that we use a lot, which is what gets measured gets managed. So if you are leading a team of yourself, a team of other people, a large firm, if it's not getting measured, it's probably not going to get managed. So making sure that you're scheduling those reports to just easily come into your inbox is going to make it a lot easier for you to manage the things that are really important to your firm. Then you can schedule any of the presets to be run at the cadence that's going to work best for you and enable report generation at the future date of choice. Bless you. Not to put you on the spot. All right, so you are going to schedule your reports. They're going to come into your email at your specified time and cadence. You're going to set all your filters and criteria once so that you don't have to keep doing this, maybe not your favorite process. And then in your reports, it can be anything from your billing data to your case progress, client balances, and it's going to provide you that more comprehensive insight into your firm's operations. So what does it look like in practice? You're going to be in your Clio account. You're going to go ahead and you're going to click reports. You're going to start generating your report just as you would as per usual. Go into, let's say, matters in this case, click into it, and then you're going to pick all of your specific information. But instead of going generate report, you're going to click save as a preset. And as you put the preset name in, you can see underneath we've got add schedule. You're going to put the schedule. You're going to tell it what time you want that report, when you want that report, and when the schedule is effective from. And then the information just shows up in your inbox and it's done. Sound good? Show of hands, who's scheduled a report before? Awesome. Great. I love it. So anyone who didn't have your hand up, this is a great one for when you get back to the office, something you can do quickly and easily to make sure that you've got the right information to make your decisions from. And some hot tips. So you can set it so that you have the ability to only view your own custom presets for reporting. And that way you're not getting mixed up with other users if you have a larger firm with many different users. You can see previous reports. I don't know about you, but I'll often be looking at a report and then like, where did that report go? So you can go into the history of past reports and see all of the reports you've generated before. And if you're somebody who needs to manipulate your data a little bit more, I find the best place to do that is in Excel or Google Sheets. So I'll often just bring my data. You can export it from Clio into CSV format, pop it in to my Google Sheets, and then from there, I'll do my pivot tables, I'll do my graphs, and be able to manipulate the data and get more out of it. So highly recommend doing that, especially if you're a visual person who kind of just needs to see it as a graph. It's very helpful. And the case for scheduled reporting is very similar. We're going to be reducing strain because we're going to get the information we need at the time we need it, as opposed to having to go and manually report generate every time. This is going to allow you to make data-driven decisions. And I think making sure that we're making our decisions based on the actual data versus like a hunch on how things are going is really going to help you be a strong leader and an impactful presence at your firm. And again, it's going to set us up to scale because as you can increase your business size, you're going to have more and more data that you need to keep track of. And so making sure that some of that's just coming into your email without having to regenerate it every time is going to be very helpful. All right, take a sip of water, take a big inhale, and we're going to go to the next one. Tailored task lists. This one's pretty important. And again, a foundational piece that a lot of folks haven't had a chance to set up on their Clio Manage account yet. So highly, highly recommend that once you've got your custom fields, you've got your matter templates, you've got your scheduled reporting, that you take some time to tailor your task lists. So another quote from our legal trends report: both solo and small firms appear to be experiencing a decrease in the number of billable hours captured. We have many different ways to track time in Clio, but organizing your tasks and your work beforehand through task lists is one of the best ways to ensure that you're maximizing the amount of billable hours that you can capture and being really intentional with your time. So what are tasks? Simply put, they're a way of keeping track of specific actions needed for a matter. They're going to allow you to check off the things that you do as you go through your process. And you can also assign tasks, which I think is an important piece too, depending on the size of your firm. So what does this look like? You'd be on the task tab, you'd start inputting your information, and you're going to go ahead, assign it. You can put a due date. You can also set reminders for your tasks if that's helpful to your workflow. And there you go, you'd have a new task. So once you've got all your tasks, instead of adding your tasks the same way every time, you're going to want to make a task list. So essentially, it's just a list of repeated tasks that you know often happen one after another. My rule of thumb is if I do something once, I want to make sure that if I can automate it or not do it again, I'm going to automate it so I don't have to do it again. So every time you're doing anything at your firm, ask yourself the question, is there a way for me to save time doing this next time? And if the answer is yes, just if you can invest the 5 minutes, 10 minutes into doing that, it's really going to help you over time to get to that goal of an hour back in a day. So once you've got your task list, then you can go back, you can add that task list to your matter template. And that way, when you click create your matter, it's already going to have all your custom fields. It's already going to have your task list. It's essentially going to have everything that you need right there, right at a click of a button. All right. We got some hot tips for tasks. Conduct regular, weekly, or daily task reviews. So being the productivity and efficiency nerd that I am, I think the biggest thing that people always ask me is like, how do you organize your list? How do you do your tasks? Like, do you do Asana? Do you do Notepad? Do you do your agenda? How do you do it? And having over the years, again, that's what I'm probably the most geeky about. If you ask any of my team members, they'll tell you that. So over the years, what I've learned is it doesn't matter how you're doing it. All that matters is if you're reviewing it. So if you take all this time to set up your tasks and you're like, okay, great, I'm set up. And then you never look at them again, or you're not building the habit of going back in and engaging with them daily or weekly or monthly, whatever the appropriate cadence is, it's not going to work. So conducting regular, weekly, or daily task reviews, I think is the only thing that's really going to help with productivity and task management. But of course, you can also set up task reminders if that's helpful to your workflow. That's an option. And you can set up notifications. But again, if you don't commit to the process and keeping them up to date, then it's like me, you get the notification and you're just like, yeah, okay, whatever, later. So review is the first step. You can also export your tasks to review them to make sure that users are staying on top of it, especially if you're collaborating with other folks at your firm. And for our super users, if you want to do more advanced task and project management, you can do that by integrating Asana through Zapier to Clio Manage. So we have folks who do that and really enjoy the functionality that offers. So something to consider if you want to geek out on productivity like me. So taking a moment, again, thinking about how it's going to be when we get back to our day-to-day, when we're out of the warm bubble of ClioCon, what's a common workflow that you could make a task list for? Take a moment, think about what's one that you haven't done yet, and just take a note of it, and then you have something to work on when you get back to the office. Alrighty. And last but not least, document templates. So document templates is a popular one. We get a lot of calls about document templates. We get a lot of questions about document templates. Document templates also takes time to set up. So it's going to be really important that when you think about document templates, you remember that you're doing this because you're wanting to reduce the amount of time spent on stuff that you can't bill for. And you're going to want to make sure that something like documents, which can be the most consuming time of all, that you're investing the time there every time there's a document that you know you're going to have to recreate to just automate it, and then you'll be able to create it at a click of a button. Because documents are a lot of copying, a lot of pasting, a lot of updating addresses, names, pronouns, etc. But by creating a portfolio of templates, you can cut out all of that time and easily have your your document created in a couple clicks of a button. So how it works is that you're going to be using merge fields to pull in the data that you already have on the client's information or the matter information directly into the document. So merge fields are essentially just a way to capture what is the piece of information that you want to pull into a certain area of your document. So it looked like this. First, you'd start with the document that you want to create a template for. And it's going to have all the information. You might want to go ahead and highlight as you go down, okay, what's the stuff that I know that I have to copy and paste into the document each time. And if you go down and you highlight, then you can pull in the appropriate merge field for each of those pieces of information, and then just copy paste the merge field in, just like that. So you'd have your merge field there with the two little brackets, triangle brackets on each side, and you'd go through your whole document, replace all your highlighting with the merge fields, and then at the end of it, you've got your first template, and you're ready to generate a document. So the generating the document process from there becomes really simple. It's essentially just you go in, click new, create a new document from template. You'd click the right matter, you'd click the document template that you want, press create, and within a matter of seconds, you would have a draft for you to review. Now, there might be tweaks that you can make. It's just a draft, so you'll be able to make additional edits if there is stuff that might be specific for this document, but it's going to give you a really great first draft, which I think is something like when we talk about AI is also another really key concept. It's like if we can get a really great first draft to work on, that is a huge time saver. Some hot tips. So create your custom fields first. If you haven't created them, I know I've been on my soapbox about custom fields, but this is going to allow you to bring a lot of new information into the template. You're also going to want to pair your document templates with e-signature functionality. So all Clio accounts will have a certain number of e-signatures as part of your plan. If you are a user who is on our advanced or complete or grow, that's going to come with unlimited e-signatures. So you are going to be able to send out for e-signatures to your heart's content. But it's really great if you can partner document templates with e-signature, because then you create your document template with a click of a button, you send it off for e-signature, and it's all happening within your Clio Manage account. And you can probably see a theme here. The case for document template is very similar. We're looking to reduce the strain on staff or yourself if you are a solo. We're going to want to free up more capacity to take on new clients. One thing I think is really important to talk about when we're talking about document automation is it's going to also reduce the chance of error. If you set up your merge fields and your document template correctly the first time, it's going to be pulling in the information right from the source. So there's no chance of copy and pasting things into the wrong place or putting the wrong information in. And you can use it again and again, of course, which is an added benefit. And you're still going to be able to review that draft. And then, of course, we're going to be setting up to scale so that you can continue to grow your firm. All right. So how does it all work together? How does it all come together? We made it. Let's recap. First, you're creating the custom fields. You're capturing the right information right at the start. If you've got grow, you're capturing the information right on your intake form. You're bringing it in to the custom fields. Now you're syncing those custom fields over to manage, and you've got the right information all the way down your pipeline. Once you've got that, you're going to master your matter template. So you're going to pull those custom fields into the matter template appropriately based on whether that's practice area, originating attorney, or the type of billing that you want to do. You're going to pull all of those custom fields into your matter templates. From there, you're going to set up your scheduled reporting. You're going to make sure that what is measured is managed. You're going to be getting the right information into your email without having to think about, oh, I've got to generate that report. Then you're going to tailor your task lists. Make sure that you're not just settling with tasks, but you're creating task lists. You're going to take those task lists. You're going to run back to your matter templates. You're going to add them into your matter templates so that when you click that button, it's not just creating your matter how you want it, but it's also got all of your tasks there, right there. So nothing's falling through the cracks and you're spending your time on the right stuff. And then you're going to go ahead and make sure you're creating document templates along the way so that every time you create a document for one of your clients, you can set up your document template with the merge fields. And if you get good at this, you'll never have to create that document again, and you just press that one button and get your first draft. And that's how it works. That's the foundation. If you master these 5 elements, it's going to be a really strong administrative foundation to build from. There's a lot more that we can do within Clio Manage, but some of these foundational pieces, again, we see the stats, we know what our users are using and what maybe there's opportunities around. Some of these folks, they're so rudimentary and foundational, and if you do them right, they're going to set you up for a lot of success. And if there's opportunities there, it's going to slow you down. So going back to, if you could gain 1 hour a day, what would you do with it? I'd love for you to take a moment and think about everything that you just learned and everything that you've thought about at Clio, or at, ClioCon. And thinking about that, not Wednesday, because Wednesday you're probably traveling, Thursday or Friday when you're back at the office, you're going to sit down, you're going to ideally schedule yourself 1 hour to just sit down and absorb and try to take some actions. And I'd love it if you could think about what 2 actions you're going to be taking when you get back to your office. And once you have them in your mind, I invite you to turn to that partner and tell them what they're going to be. Oh, I went too far. You got 60 seconds to share. Go ahead. Or maybe 2 minutes if you're feeling sherry. All right. It's so nice to see people engaging. It's one of the benefits of coming to ClioCon is the folks you meet. So hopefully you've met some new accountability buddies along the way as well. Now, if you want to dive deeper, we do have some more sessions this afternoon. If you're thinking efficiency, productivity, that's your jam, here's some that I would recommend visiting. We've got 10 mobile app tricks to simplify your daily tasks. So how do we now take all of this and apply it to our mobile experience? You could also think about efficiency administration when we're thinking about your payment structures. So in our Clio support team, every week, that's the first week of the month, we have what's called billing week, which is where we get an inflated amount of calls because it's when most of our clients will bill their clients. So taking the time to set up your billing structures right is definitely one that you're going to want to invest in so that you can cut down in maybe the amount of time that you need to give our team a call. Of course, we will be happy to help you, but more so just so that you don't have to call us. And then the last one that I'm really excited about, I don't know if anybody here has read Atomic Habits, but it's a great book. Of course, we've got James Clear this afternoon at 4:15 talking about 1% better every day. And I think when we're thinking about administration, this really rings true, that if you can take even 10 minutes in a day to go, okay, what could I do today to set myself up for success better tomorrow? Is there a document that I can create into a template? Is there a task list I can create? Is there a custom field that I'm missing? Is there something in my Grow account, like an intake form that I can create? If you can take an action like that every day, before you know it, Clio Manage becomes this tool that will be able to create so much more value for you and basically be like a sidekick to help you out and get a lot of stuff done. So 1% better every day with James Clear. Make sure that you head over. I'm so excited. I will be there with you. If you've got questions, I'm about to invite up our wonderful customer support folks, but you can also spend some time one-on-one with my team down in the Customer Success Center, which you will find at the back of the exhibit hall by where you've been eating food on the right-hand side. We should still have some sessions left. So come spend some time with us shoulder to shoulder and we can get into your specific questions in your specific instance. And if you get back to the office on Thursday and you're like, oh, I hit a roadblock, I'm struggling, please pick up the phone or go and chat and give us a call and we'll be able to help you with those specific questions. But with no further ado, I'm so excited. I have genuinely got one of the best jobs ever, and we have such an incredible team of incredible folks. I'm about to bring up 2 of those folks right now. So if you've ever connected with our support team or given us a call or gone and chat, you're talking to some real live folks who are very, very awesome at what they do. And these folks handle thousands of interactions over the year. And between the 2 folks I'm about to invite up to the stage, they have been doing this for a collective 6 years. So, oh my gosh, I can't even do the math. That's going to be probably 100,000 interactions between the 2 of you. Something like that. Welcome to the stage, please, Marie Pantaleon and Monica Sharma. You can give them a big round of applause. Thank you. So Marie is an associate solution specialist with our customer support team, and Monica is one of our senior support specialists. And do you have fun answering all the questions today? Well, you got it.
Yes. We had some amazing time meeting you folks, and it's still some time left. As Sheena told, come see us at Success Center. We love to talk with you guys.
Awesome. All right. So are there any questions? Hopefully you've written down some. Yes, I see hands shooting up. So just hold for the microphone. It's going to come over. If you just want to keep your hand up just for a second so we can see where the questions are. Okay, awesome. We're going to come up front first. Or you got one in the back? Okay, perfect. We'll start there. And as you're thinking of questions, of course, if you got something really specific to your instance, it may be better handled in our Success Center, so feel free to come pop by. But we'll take as many questions as we can in the space together. So I believe somebody has the mic in the back.
So with the Matter templates, if we're using Clio Grow, does that also work with those Matter templates?
So no, Matter templates are only for Manage. They are not currently available in Grow.
Yeah. So essentially in Grow, we wouldn't be creating the Matter. Like Grow is really just like the potential client. Once they become your client and you're actually working a Matter, that all happens over in Manage. So think of it as like Grow, intake, potential clients. Once they're like, yep, we've signed on the dotted line, we're going to be working with you, you're porting them over to Manage, and that's where you're using your Matter templates.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you for your question. Next question. I'm not sure where we're at. We'll go over here. Perfect. Thank you.
For the tasks, when you're setting up a planned list, do they import in all at once into the Matter, or can you set them? Do you have to know what date they would come up? Like, is there a way to make them interact with each other? So like you click complete on one and create another one?
Yes. So when you're setting up a task list, you're going to have a whole list of tasks that you want in, I guess you could say, template, and they will start to assign based off a trigger date. So you can set due dates for them and assign them to multiple users if there's going to be a bunch of users.
So you do have to know the dates in advance, because like it's kind of, with my situations, they're all based on what the previous task, when it was completed. I don't necessarily know when that will be.
Like, can you do dependent?
Yes.
So that they're like, when this is done, then this one triggers?
Yes. So we have trigger dates and we have relative dates. So you can decide when you want the task 2 to happen, maybe like 5 days after task 1 or before. You have that option.
Thank you. Is that helpful? Awesome. All right. Where are we going? We're going over here. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I have attempted to make custom fields, and I really overdid it. I've got a list of custom fields it's just huge.
Yeah.
Is there a way to sort those or organize them, or do I just start over?
I would think about Matter templates for that one, like making sure that we're like, if we're not looking through the whole list every time, but we're bringing in the specific one for the practice area or the billing type. And then that way, when you're using that specific type of Matter, you're just looking at the custom fields that you need, because you might find that it's a big list, but you got a big list of things that you need. But that would just be my thought. I'll leave it to the experts.
Yeah, I think what else you can do is there's something called custom field sets. So if you have like a lot of individual custom fields, you can just group them in sets based upon maybe practice area, that maybe you would want these custom fields in like practice area A, practice area B. So you do not have to go through the list. You can just go into sets and then assign sets to your matters.
When you're on the Matter template, can you click into, like, can you bring in one specific set altogether? Yeah. Awesome. So maybe start there, look it through. And then of course, if there's anything that like, if you're like, oh, I've only used this custom field once, you're probably good to delete that one. Awesome. Thank you so much. We are going over here. Thank you.
Thank you. My clinic operates mostly with CSV exports rather than Clio reports. Is there any way to schedule a CSV export, or can you just schedule a Clio report?
Yes. So dependent on the report, you'll have different formats that you can generate it on. So you can select CSV for those ones.
Would it come into the email as just like an attachment? So like when the email is like, oh, your scheduled report is here, is it just going to have the CSV right there?
Yes. That they can download.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, that's really cool. Thanks.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for the question. Are we coming over here? Great. If you just want to lift up the mic so we can hear you.
All right. So if you have a tailored task list, can you have it auto-assign those tasks to a particular staff member associated with the file? So for example, let's say you have 3 attorneys, 3 legal assistants, and 3 paralegals. and you want certain tasks for that file assigned to legal assistant 1 and another task assigned to paralegal 2 and attorney 3, can you have that auto assign, and how would you do that in custom fields?
Yeah, I can take that one. So when you are creating your task within the list, you have an option where it says assign to, and you can select to whom you want to assign it to. But for the very first time when you're assigning that task, you have to assign it to a user, and then based upon what you have for task 2, 3, 4, it will auto assign it to the assignee when the initial task is done, or whatever your trigger date or relative due date is. So yes, you have that option to select assignee for that task.
Does that help? Sort of.
Okay.
The other option too is if you want us to take a look at the exact way you want to do it, come pop by and we can take a look at how you're doing it. If you have your laptop, bring your laptop and we can help you set one up as an example. Yeah, awesome. Thank you for the question. All right, we're coming over here.
Hi. So with the reports, obviously there's a lot of different options as far as customizing it and getting very specific data, but how specific could it get? Could I group by department? Could I group by a specific amount of attorneys? Could I select all of these types of paralegals, maybe except for 1 or 2? How detailed can it get?
I can take that one. So there are a bunch of reports in Manage, as you've seen in the Reports tab. Each one has different filters based off the parameters that you need for that specific report. If you need to filter it further, then it would be through an Excel or CSV. But there are new customizations like the revenue report. If you're exporting to CSV, it'll give you the option to hide or show certain columns that you need.
Mm-hmm. We do have just some exciting things coming for WAS too. So we've heard the feedback around, we want more customization in reports. I can't give you any spoilers, but know that we've heard the feedback and we're hopeful to make some reporting dreams come true sooner rather than later. All right. And we're over here.
I just have 2 quick questions. One, is there a way to do a custom field that is in capital letters opposed to lowercase? And if I want a name that's capitalized throughout the document.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one is there a way to somehow, and I don't know if this is a workflow or task, but when a task is done, if I want an automatic email to be sent because that's done, how do I do that?
Take that one. So no, we cannot capitalize.
We can't set case sensitive, as higher alert.
No,
That's a good feature request.
yeah, exactly.
So in the merge field, in the template, if you put it in all capitals is what I'm hearing, then it will automatically translate what's in your custom field to all caps. Yeah, but just for your merge, just for your template, though, you do it once, then you'd be good.
But the data in your matter would not be in caps. Yeah. It would still be, yeah. But in your document, you can retrieve that in caps, yeah.
You could. The other thing that you could do is in your custom field, when you're setting it up, you could in brackets and parentheses and besides say, caps only, please, or a reminder so that folks are inputting it in capitals. Yeah, so that could be a thing. Or same with on your intake form, if you're using Grow, you could put capitalize only. You may have to correct a little bit for the human error there, but maybe a potential workaround. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to the back.
So once you've assigned a task list, if you need to change the person that those tasks are assigned to, is there a way to do that in bulk for that task list? Or do you have to go into each task individually?
And unfortunately, no. That is another great feature for Product Lab. You would have to go into each one and edit it to be to the correct assignee.
Okay. And similarly, if you would need to change the trigger date, that would also be deleting it and starting over with the task list?
You can edit the existing ones, but if you're changing the whole thing, then you can delete it and create a new task list.
So you have the ability to go in and edit, and tweak. But
if you have a big task list, that's a lot of things to go through.
Totally. Yeah. Thank you for that question and the feedback. All right, we're coming over here.
So with the new feature coming out with Matter Stages, how do we work? What do you suggest for our task list? Because right now the task list is triggered by once, activity,
3 does, it triggers for activity 4. If I'm waiting on it to move to the next stage, do I create different task lists for each stage, or will it build in a feature of once you move it from case filed to X set? How should I work through that?
Okay, for now, we would recommend you to create task lists for like each stage, because when you're moving matter from stage 1 to stage 2, let's say, it's good that you go to your task list and assign the second one, because we cannot automatically link that for now. So it's better that you create your matter stages and then you create your task list for different stage.
You're very welcome. Thank you for the question. All right, we're over here.
To piggyback on that, actually, before my question, there is an integration that will create those automations for you. So when you move the case from stage to stage, it'll automatically assign those task lists for you. There's a exhibitor out there that can do that.
Oh, do you know the name?
It doesn't do it yet. I don't.
Oh, that's okay.
But I'll look it up. But my question is, can you explain and expand on the difference between the templates in Clio Draft and Clio Manage? I'm not sure when to use Draft for my templates and when to use Manage for my templates.
All I can say for now is Manage document templates. Those are a lot of your engagement letters or retainer agreements, things like that. Whereas templates in Draft, that's a lot of your court documents that you're dealing with. We do have our Draft team here to go into more depth with that. And at the Success Center, we can show you the difference between the Manage document automation templates, and then you can have a peek at what the Draft templates look like.
If you had to summarize the difference between the functionality between the Draft options and the document automation options in Manage, is there like 2 or 3 words that you'd boil it down to?
From what I've seen in their demos, Manage uses what we call merge fields. So you're copying and pasting text into the template. And what I've seen with Draft templates, they're using fields. So they're inputting like actual fields into the template.
So it's just a little bit of a different process.
Yeah, but don't quote me on that, because it would be better from the Draft team.
Yeah, so for context, Draft is one of our newer additions to Clio. So we actually have a specific Draft support team that's still taking all of our Draft questions. As we become more integrated with Draft over time, they're going to be part of our wonderful support team. But yeah, so for now, if you do want more clarity on that, what I'd suggest is visit me at the Customer Success Center after this. I'll get you connected with Corey, who's from our Draft team, and he'll be able to dig into Draft a little bit more with you and delineate some of those differences of why you'd want to use one versus the other. Thank you for the question. All right, we're over on this side. Don't worry, we still got lots of time, so if you still have questions, feel free to bear with us. We'll try to get to as many as we can in the next 10 minutes. Go for it.
The app or the vendor that's out there that does the integration to automate the task list when you move from stage to stage is called LegalMate.
Oh, awesome.
Zapier also does it, if anyone uses that.
Great. We appreciate it. It's kind of like a skill sharing circle. I love it. Thank you.
But my question was kind of going back to the first question that was asked. So we are Clio Grow users.
Sure.
So if a client hires us and we export that matter from Clio Grow into Clio Manage, can we assign a matter template when we export it? Or does the matter have to be created directly in Manage in order to be able to use a matter template?
Yeah, from what I know, when you are exporting your matters from Grow to Manage, it wouldn't give you the option. So it has to be directly created in Manage to have that matter template applied to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do we have anything similar to matter templates in Grow?
In Grow?
Not currently.
No,
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. And we're really looking at ways to make our process between Grow and Manage more streamlined and over time to improve that user experience for you so that some of these pieces are more clear in our workflows. So yeah, I appreciate that question. And I think there's definitely stuff for us to think about on that flow.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, we're over here. Thank you for your patience. Go for it.
Of course. Hi. Thank you guys so much. So I'm curious about contact management.
Okay.
And I do use the contact field for custom fields. So 3 questions about that particular topic. The first question is, is there any way to alphabetize or organize my contact fields that I have that already exist? And then
Okay, we'll take one question at a time just so we don't lose the plot because we might. So the first one was,
can we alphabetize the contact tags
perfect.
or organize them?
Your contact custom fields, right? Or
Contacts, custom fields, contact tags.
So under tasks?
tags.
Oh, tags, pardon me.
So for custom fields in Manage, yes, you do have a way to modify the order. It'll allow you to drag and drop where you want that custom field to appear on your list or when you're editing a contact or creating a contact.
In the settings?
So you would have to, there isn't a way to hit a button and sort. So you would have to drag and drop within your custom field settings to reorder the contact custom fields.
Oh, okay. And I'm wondering if, so for example, when you're in the contact field, contact tag, custom field, is there a way to, so if it's a pick list, you can't move it, but if it's not a pick list, you can. Oh, I see what you're saying. You can move the pick list, or you don't have a pick list.
If it's specifically for pick lists, it would have to be created in the order.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. If it's the whole custom fields list, like that whole list that you're looking at all your contact custom fields, that can be modified. Yes.
So I'd have to take all my pick lists out and create new contact tags and then assign them all over to the contacts anew.
Yes, you can set it as default, and that way it'll appear for all your contacts.
Okay, so pick list was the problem.
Yeah, there isn't a way to sort those ones, unfortunately. It would have to be recreated.
Okay, thank you. And so if you wanted to have, say, for example, a contact tag, A through Z, and you wanted just, D, F, and Z, is there a way to just find just those contacts? Because you could do it if you were to create it in just, you go to contacts on the left and then you pick the custom category of tag. So you could see the list, but you can't organize it unless you download it into Excel and then reconfigure it.
It might be a good one for us to get our eyes on too. Just because, unless you're...
I think, but I'm not sure again. Maybe you can filter it. Like if you go to contacts page itself, if you go to filters on the right side, I'm not sure, but maybe there is an option to filter it with just the tags.
There is, but I was wondering if you could organize that.
Oh, what we'll do is because we're 4 minutes from wrap and I want to make sure we get your answer. Maybe
we can check.
We'll just come over and we'll check on your computer at the end. They can answer it one-on-one. Absolutely. And if you don't get an answer, we can always get you down to the Customer Success Center. Okay. Probably got time for 1 to 2 more questions depending on length. Oh, hello. I wasn't expecting a camera there.
Okay, so this is regarding custom field sets. So I've created custom fields and I use a certain field in multiple sets that are unrelated, like for, an LLC operating agreement or whatever. It's the same custom field in multiple sets. But if I populate that custom field in my matter, if I add another custom field set that has that same field, it's the same information. It won't let me put a different value if it's the same ultimate field just in multiple sets. That same information is pulling up in all of the sets. Is there a way to get around that? So like if I have an effective date for my LLC operating agreement, that effective date in another field set isn't going to copy that same data. Do you follow? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can answer that one. Yeah, so the way that Clio is thinking is that this value belongs to this field. So what you can do is create custom field 1, custom field 2. So you're basically creating multiple fields. That way you can enter multiple.
Yeah,
I know. No way around it right now.
Yeah. Or you could, it's like specify your labeling a little bit more like granularly, unfortunately. Or else it's going to be like, oh, you want the effective date? There's the effective date. It's like, no, but this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up doing it where it's LLC effective date or LP effective date. But
exactly.
It seems like there's so many, like somebody had mentioned, there's so many custom fields now.
Totally.
I wanted to kind of
streamline it.
But if that's just going to pull the value for anywhere that I put it, then thank you.
It's basically just like a bucket. And then it's like, oh, you want bucket A? Here's bucket A. So, okay, we are at time. If you have more questions, please, please, please come down to our Customer Success Center. Our team would love to spend some time with you. We still have some appointments. I really hope you've enjoyed the conference. Let's have a big thank you to our incredible Marie and Monica. And genuinely, if you hit any roadblocks along the way, please give our team a call. It's such a joy to help people get better at their Clio Manage and Clio Grow. So contact us. But thank you so much for your time. Have a great rest of your conference, and please have a safe journey home. Cheers.